Okay. Well, thanks to a commenter, I've learned a lot of my older videos were really dang blurry. So let's see if this fixes any. Today, doing a custom Warboss model for Warhammer 40,000. I threw this together out of spare parts, bit of sculpting putty, brass rod, a few other knickknacks. What can I say? The madness-inducing day job gives me a lot of bad ideas, and the thought of giving an orc a monster truck tire for legs was one that was actually practical to follow through on. So we'll start with 09035 olive green. Originally, I had wanted to give this guy a combo weapon with Scorch Up, but just did not work out with the head. And 09004 fire red. Call this guy Boss Kill Wheel. Concept being an evil son's bike who got his ride shot out from under him by a very lucky Imperial Guardsman, getting a lucky hit on the fuel tank. And having this done to him so he could go faster. And with that being the case, we'll give him plenty of red. I had envisioned can't speak. I had envisioned this guy having a cyborg body initially, but that's no longer one of the options for a Warboss in the 8th edition. Oh well, still fun to make and paint. And some of this I'm definitely going to be repainting in a bit. Just kind of make it up as I go along. will definitely be repainting part of this hip area. The Evil Sun's insignia should definitely be red. And 09089 cloudy gray. This part of the strap there. There we go. We'll give it another layer of red later. So, cobbled him together more for practice than anything else. Get myself sculpting things I haven't tried before. Well, the only way to get good at something is to start out by being terrible at it. Go ahead and get his tire. A little more of the gray. If I seem a bit distracted, just trying to make sure I'm still in frame. So when I started, I found out all my other videos are really blurry, so I'm trying to correct the problem moving forward. Okay. Go ahead and do these hubs. Go back and do his cyborg hips here in the metal, or the gray. Good chunk of him below the belt's hammered out of scrap metal at this point. Okay. All in all, though, it wasn't too hard to do this modification. Actually, I'll go ahead and use 09100 Pearl White. It's a metallic. Made this from the rocket pack from the boys kit. On this, the modifications, this is one wicked fuel tank. Go ahead and just paint those with metallic white. It's a bit thick. Okay. Also, I'll go ahead and use the same to fill in the eye for now. I'm going to modify that later. 09197 old bronze. I'm just going to do this pipe on the axe. Or chopper. Or big chopper. Again, I made this guy to standards that have been changed for the new edition, but that's okay. The 8th edition is a much more streamlined game than it used to be. Just a bit of a gray here, easy to fix. Ahead and do these wires as well. Too much water. And it looks like this reinforcing here should also be in the gray as well. So take care of that. We'll do this wire coming from the fuel tank to the pelvis. Yeah. that hose coming out of his mouth. And this smokestack. Yeah. I almost put smoke coming out of this, but changed my mind at the last minute. I see Killwheel here as using an alcohol-based fuel source. That doubles as a potent form of liquor. So basically, drunk speed freak, orc running on moonshine. Go ahead and do that plate on his chest in the bronze. And one more of these plates on the back, I think. Uh-oh, I've buried some of my paint. 09206, tarnished steel. Go ahead and pick out these spikes. Orks are a really fun 40k faction to model. That's because it doesn't matter how stupid or weird your ideas are, it fits right in no matter what it is. And I'll go ahead and do the hubcaps here over in the silver. Why not? Make them stand out a bit more from the rest of the tire. A little bit more gray right around there. And touch up the white a little bit more here. This is going to be nice and bright. Okay. Let's see here. That's good on base coats. Let's let that dry and move on to shading. Onto the shading. Gonna start with 09003, blood red. Now come on. There we go. It would help if I had the model in the camera's view. Still getting used to the new position, but if this works out, this will be much better than my previous videos. Then aged pewter 09196. There we go. There was a little more on that one. And we'll start on this big chopper. I've been reading the Beast Arises series of books for Warhammer 40,000. Only 2 books in thus far, but assuming it's considered canon. It looks like there's canonical proof that Orc technology works only because they think it does. Right, make sure that doesn't get too thick in those little eyes there. Otherwise, it'll just fill it up with paint. Okay, that needs to dry for a bit. Alright, thanks to it being another nice hot day, those previous layers of shading are dry already. So, starting off with Stormy Gray. Did not intend to bump the camera there. I think I grabbed the wrong brush. This is the one that's shedding. And it just dawned on me I forgot to do his teeth. Alright, now I can still fix that. One of those oops moments. Get his struts. And I'll actually be shading the tire with a different color. It's got the gray. One or 09143 yellow bone. Can earnestly say I was not exactly conscious when I started this one. Just carefully pick out his claws. Yeah, I'd say there's more claws than fingernails. Get his teeth. Big, sharp, pointy yellow orc teeth. Yeah. Now we'll go ahead and do 09205 black and steel. Where to start? Go ahead and carefully do the head, trying to avoid that white. Do something special with that. There's not too much of this. Get this piece of armor there. And this, whatever it is. And if this mixes in with the gray a bit, that'll be okay. I can work with that. I guess I am. I wasn't sure if I was keeping him in the picture plane or not. Okay, stained ivory 09142. Those teeth have dried enough already to shade, and I want to do that before I move on to the skin. Really carefully, since areas around are still wet. Get that blotted out. That's why you need the paper towel. And then teeth. And even with that little bit right there, that's good. Go ahead and let this dry completely. Finish up the shading and start highlight details. Alright, should be able to finish the shading at this point. Starting on the skin with the 09034 Muddy Olive. That should be all we need. Not on my game tonight. Then we'll take 09037 pure black and no, actually do that last. Emerald green 09103. And dilute this really thoroughly. This is going to be his fuel. Maybe I diluted too much. Just see how it looks, and if I gotta do it again, that's fine. And then 09101 ruby red. Just a tiny bit of that. Okay, this is not good. You see how watery that is. Let's go ahead and unclog the nozzle first. Mix this up really well. Guess it's been a while since I used this one. That's more like it. It's going to go right in the eye there. Overextends, that's fine. Now we're going to take the pure black. The nozzle's clogged. Okay, I got that green way too diluted. It's not working at all, so we'll just redo that in a second. Something fell off here, I'm not sure what. Let's try that emerald green again. Less water. It still turned out weird blue color. Might not be shaken up well enough. That's probably it. Okay, that's better. That looks more like an emerald green. There we go. Let's get that in there. Let's touch more. I'm going to go ahead and get the perimeter of the base here. dilute the rest of that black. Go over the tire, being careful to avoid what is not tire. Might not be quite diluted enough. Go ahead and just thin it enough that it doesn't obscure detail here. Okay, that's about right. Yeah, we'll go ahead and let that dry, and then highlights. Alright, on to highlights. Actually, I'll start with the teeth and claws. Creamy Ivory, 09144. Not much. And off camera, I did some touch up to the eye and the pack on the back, fuel. So give those light dusting here, make sure to get his teeth nice and yellow ivory, I guess. Now pale olive, 09036. And again, on the dry brushing, you want a fairly ratty looking brush. And 09039 Rainy Gray. This is going to go exclusively on his all-terrain tire here. Misty Gray 09090. And 09005 Phoenix Red. Making sure the logo gets a decent spread. And 09207 True Silver. And instead of all the steel, this is just going to go on the weapons. Give those blades it has a nice shiny cutting edge. Sure to get the spikes on his wheels. And on his pack here. Making sure that chopper has a nice shiny edge. And then 09124 Adamantium Black. Oh, there's this. I am knocking stuff all over the place today. That that nozzle cleared. This is one I don't use too often. Use this to switch up the highlighting, give some of the colors a different look. This is a metallic black. So starting on the face. Gives it a dark, almost greasy look. And then the hubcaps here. Here. I think this pouch was supposed to be food, but I screwed that up. That's okay. Do that. Give that to the wire, go into his pack as well. Then tarnished brass, 09198. Not too much of that. To the spike. Some wires on the chopper with it. And its smokestack. And then scorched metal, 09125. That's a favorite of mine. Play it on the chest. And it's played here. This almost gives it a rusty look. Plate on the back. And that one. Yeah, it's looking nice. Okay. That just leaves a couple of details. And 09037 pure black. Carefully paint the top of the smokestack. And paint in a gun barrel there. that down just a bit. Get the chamber there. Go ahead and do these vents here real carefully. Go ahead and dab that excess out with a paper towel. We want insides darkened, not the entire thing. Okay, I'm going to let that dry and do the basing. Alright, we're going to do two material basing here. Mixing up the glue solution, Elmer's glue wall and water. Let's get the sand opened up first. Mix that up really thoroughly. And we're just going to paint a pattern here. And give it a good dip in the sand. And we're going to let that sit for a bit. Sand's dry enough. Move on to the talus, or rock debris. Gotta grip it carefully. Gonna go around where we put the sand. It will soak in a bit. A fair bit, actually. Going around, going around. And dip in talus. And a little bit of touch up right here. Talus doesn't stick as well as the sand or flock does. Okay. It's not so bad. Let's see, where's a dry one? No, sand's not dry enough for that to work. Alright, we'll just leave a little divot there, that's fine. Alright, now we'll let that dry again. Alright, now to finish. Again, scenic cement. Very carefully, just dip it around. And I've made a bald spot. I'll take a little bit of the talus, just a pinch. Sprinkle that over. Okay, that'll fix it. Clean it out thoroughly again. And there we go. Custom Orc Warboss, based off a weird and partially stupid idea, yet not the weirdest. That would be this guy. Put this guy together a few months ago. Call him Boss Ed Stump. A Warboss with basically a pogo stick for a leg. That Tau never saw it coming. So this is not the last custom Warboss I'm going to throw together. I will have enough spare parts from future Orc kits I'll get to make a more normal looking one or four. We'll get to that later. Next time, something monstrous.